Hi, guys, and welcome to the BY OPAL podcast. Today's episode is energy, and today I have two of my lovely employees here, Sammy and Corey.
Hey guys.
Hello.
So we figured today, because it's energy, we figured that we would talk about the energy that is required or that you should put out there for social media. And Sunday, so today is Tuesday, and Sunday we just did a photo shoot. Super cool, like woodsy, like
Rusticy, kind of.
yeah. And we did like group photos, and then we also did photos for like each girl. So each girl would have content to put on their social media, so it would help them like brand themselves and kind of build their following. So I think Corey is our newest stylist, and Corey is freshly out of hair school, right? How long has it been?
Since September, so 2 months.
2 months. Okay, so 2 months out of hair school. And I don't think she quite realized how strong the social media game is until we took her under our wing.
Not at all.
Right?
We always had to like have an Instagram page and you would post whatever you did, but it wasn't like to the extent that it is. You know, like it wasn't as serious. The editing wasn't as serious at all.
I mean,
Like,
and
the
some people
angles.
don't get too like a lot of people don't get too serious, but it's like a necessary thing to be like on your social media game, and like these days it's like super important to be doing social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like even since the past 2 months, like my page has already grown from what we've done and how we've edited it and the pictures I've taken. It's already grown.
Right.
Not much, but it's getting there.
Right, for considering for 2 months for you. So some of the few things that like we did for Corey when she got out of hair school is like we took some pictures of her for her profile picture, changed like those highlight things on Instagram. Like those are really good tools because people could just like click those and look at and see like your work. Like if you want one that's like titled like before and afters or like your hair or whatever salon you're working at, like, you know, a lot of people like to see like the environment of the salon that you work at. So because that also tells a vibe. So putting that and then editing the photos, tagging all the photos,
Yeah.
hashtags, because when you're a new stylist and you're building, you want to put in your comments, you can do up to 30 hashtags. And when you're building, like use all of the tools that Instagram gives you to try to like get out there, or like tagging locations. Like we've been tagging like restaurants, or like when the World Series, right? We were tagging
like
Boston,
Fenway and
Boston.
stuff.
Fenway.
Yeah.
Like areas that, you know, at that time there's going to be like a lot of people like during dinner time tagging like bars or restaurants and stuff like that.
Right.
During like the morning tagging like coffee shops, and it's helpful. I've gotten a lot of followers out of it, I think. Sometimes
You
I
have
look at
grown like tremendously. Like, so Sam has been with me since May, and like when you first started, like you had like a little bit of clientele, but like you sat a little bit. You don't sit at all anymore.
Not much, no.
And she gets all these young girls, or
Yeah.
girls that are like, "Oh my God, I found you on Instagram."
Yeah,
I just love you.
Instagram is definitely my most important tool right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey, what would you feel has been like the most challenging as far as trying to get like energy across on your page to like express to your audience or build an audience? Like, I'm Corey, I'm a hairdresser, this is my style. Like, what do you feel has been like the most challenging for you?
Well, I think, for one, I don't have obviously as much content to post as you guys do. So I feel like actually getting myself to go on it and post like stuff that I wouldn't think of before, like just like even like those little quote pictures or like pictures of myself, like I wouldn't have thought to do that at all. Like I always just thought, oh, hair, and like I don't have a lot of that to post at the moment. So it's like I forget to go on there and post like little stuff about me that people could be interested in, because I don't think
Right.
about people being interested in that kind of stuff, but people really are interested in seeing you and like what represents you and stuff.
Right.
I think that's been the most challenging.
Yeah.
It's just thinking further into it than what I would have before.
Yeah. And I think like, and also like you putting yourself out there, like Corey did not want to take pictures of herself.
No, Corey is just now blossoming, guys.
Yeah. They've turned me into
She's peaking.
this photographer model.
Yeah. Well, I think because like there's only so many heads of hair that you can possibly look at.
Yeah.
Right? Like obviously like when a consumer is looking for a stylist, like they want to see that you can do good hair, obviously.
Right,
Or maybe that you have a specialty, but they also are like mostly attracted to you.
Yeah, and
it's like
looking for a person that kind of is personable to them.
Yeah.
And someone that they can like sit down and like connect with, and
right.
so I think that's really important.
Like even pictures of like a coffee cup or like something like your notebook and your pencil or something like
like something that's like aesthetically pleasing to like your eyes might be pleasing to somebody else's eyes. So posting it on your social media is cool because it kind of like creates that type of energy that's that you're trying to create for yourself.
Or even just like little like Instagram stories for the day, like, oh, happy Friday or happy whatever. Just like posting little stuff of the salon, I feel like has helped too.
Right.
Because people want to see that.
Right.
What
They want to see
doing for the day.
It's kind of like especially like when like there's some salons out there that constantly post, like they do lives, they do Insta stories, and it becomes like reality TV. Like people want to watch it. They're like, those girls look so fun. They look like they're having such a good time. I love like their salon, and they just want to watch it. So they like literally like will binge watch you guys because they're just like they love it.
Yeah.
But like even what I was saying about like the notebook and like a pen or like something or a cup, it's all about too like your description and like what you say and like what are you resonating good with like your audience, and like they're like, oh my god, like she's like my freaking soul sister, like how have I not met her before? And then like next thing you know they're in your chair.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, like having that like special like theme or like colors for your Instagram, because like that shows who you are too. Like, and everybody's, it's different. Like not everybody's gonna have like the same setup or the same colors, and I think people are interested to see like, oh, like this girl, like hers is all pink, so she's like, you know what I mean, like
you stand out from like everyone else.
Right. Yeah. You really just want to showcase like individuality and like that you're you. But like, I mean, you haven't really worked at another salon, but I have, and Sam has. But like when I worked at another salon, like, I mean, they care about your social media, like they talk about it, but they didn't push it. Like I feel like, you know, we're really thriving for it. But like, and the most that they did for us was like they took headshots for like the website or things like that. But like we're doing like seasonal photo shoots. So like summer, fall, winter, and trying to like how do you guys feel like having a salon that is willing to like get photo shoots for you guys and like help you promote?
I think it pushes us to get more content out, to like show more of our clients who we are and everything. I think it's amazing. Being someone who like loves like fashion and everything like that too, that's like one of my passions. So I think it's great. I love it.
I think go ahead, Bar.
I think it's good for like our Instagrams and obviously all that too, but I think it's also good for us as like a team and like showing us that like or showing other people that like we're
it's like
friends or we
experience.
could like do stuff together, because a lot of people, like especially for me, like have commented like, oh, like the salon you work at is so cute, like you guys are so much fun, like how was breakfast the other day, like people say that all the time, like what do you guys do? And it's like it shows that we're like a team, and it's fun, and that we're have
not
like
just
a good
like
time.
coworkers that like just, you know,
which I think is important for people to see, because if you just like work together and like that's it, I feel like people aren't as interested.
Right.
Know?
Exactly. And I think that social media is so huge right now, and all of these like mood pictures, like the fall and like Christmas and summer, it's like they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. I mean, obviously if you can't afford, or if you're a salon owner or you're just like an independent and you can't afford like a photographer or photo shoots or whatever, you know, your iPhone, we've done it.
Yeah, we do it on a regular basis.
We go outside, I'm like, Sam, stand there, put this hat on, or Corey, this, that. And we're taking pictures of like of each other, and there's so many apps that you can, you know, modify these pictures to make them look as professional as you can. So you don't need a professional photographer, but I was just trying to elevate everybody as an artist and elevate everybody's Instagram, so they had like really good photography to post on their pages. So I think that if you are an owner and you would like to have your brand stand out and help your stylist grow, that having photo shoots for your employees is like the best way. So they literally have like an arsenal of photos and content to put on their social media.
Instead of just like pictures of hair, because there's, like you said, there's only so many like hair pictures you can post that it just starts to get kind of boring.
Exactly.
It's like looking at, I don't know, it's just boring.
Yeah.
It's like looking at a whole...
Yeah, I think if you
lot
do
of
it like
nothing.
seasonally, or even just like how many we took the other day, it's like you can always pop one out or post one.
Right.
You know, because there's plenty of content there, which would be...
And then it starts to create like a theme on your page too,
Right.
when
Yeah.
you're posting so many of the same edits or so many of the same like backdrops or pictures of like you, yourself, your team. It creates like a theme on your...
Right.
Instead of just posting like, because sometimes it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing, but like pictures of that just are all different kinds of colors and all different kinds of edits. It starts to like look all like what are you trying to put out? Who are you kind of thing, you know?
Right. And I think that, like, I think as like a company too, like, you don't want all of your stylists, you want each person to be like individual and have their own thing. But as like an outsider, if you were to like for us, if you were to look at Opal's page, or you look at Sam's or Corey's or mine or Lauren's or Angela's, you know, you see and you're like, okay, I could tell that they all have like, they all had the same photo shoot, but yet each one has its own like uniqueness. Like each girl had their own photo shoot.
Yeah.
So they're different, but they like, obviously they took place at the same place,
Yeah.
you know?
And like we all wore what we like to dress in and like what our style is and stuff, and that's important too, to create like a good energy, is to just show people like who you are and like what
I
you
loved
like
that.
to...
That was so much fun.
Yeah,
I
it was a
know.
lot of fun.
Each girl, like, we, it was so funny. My boyfriend's dad was like, "Are you guys like the Charlie's Angels?" It was so funny. I was like, actually, we kind of look like that. So,
Yeah. And like, how often do you get to like dress up and do like fun stuff like
Exactly.
that and
Yeah.
show like who you are? Like, we all got to wear whatever we wanted, and it was like, it all came out so good.
it did.
So yeah, it was
Team
a lot of
building.
fun. And like,
Yeah.
I've never done anything like that before. Like, I've never done any kind of photo shoot for anything, so it was fun. I
We're
liked it.
breaking Corey out of
We are
her
breaking Corey
little
in.
nutshell.
So, Corey, as far as like, you were in hair school, and so we've kind of like thrown you to the wolves.
Yep.
And you're doing good. You're
Yeah.
doing really good. So, how do you feel like as far as like building the social media, and now like this is her first podcast, by the way, guys. So you're doing good now too.
Took a lot to get me on here.
But like, because you were saying like it's all in your head and you just like freak out and like you worry people looking at you. Like, talk about that for a minute.
I feel like, yeah, like for me, like it's been really hard to like take pictures or like do something different or like come on here, because like I'm not used to that. But I think that like the more that we do it and the more that you've shown me, like, if you post this picture, like, you're gonna get this many likes and like this is what's gonna happen, and like it's happened. Like, even that one picture I posted a couple days ago of just myself, like it got likes and comments and stuff, and it was like, oh, like maybe people actually do want to see that, or
Right.
like hear me talk, or you know what I mean, which I never thought people would care before. So it's like maybe they don't, I don't know, but it's just like it works.
So did you have like an aha moment where you're like, why was I so scared?
I feel like the more that we've like talked and like been able to like talk about things that aren't like so like work related, is when I've been like, oh, like I can like talk to these people, or I can do this, or I'm not so like uncomfortable. Because I feel like at first I just kind of felt like, oh, like I'm new, like I'm not gonna like say this or do that or whatever, because it's like it's scary at first. I feel like any job that you work at, that'd be like scary, you're brand new. But I feel like the more that we've like done that, and the more that we've like sat down and like taken pictures and gone over things, like it's helped a little. I think this weekend helped. I mean, it was only the other day, but like that was like fun for me, and like I feel like that, like, I don't know, like it just like was different.
Slowly like
Yeah.
hammering down those walls
Yeah.
in your brain that you have.
I know.
Yeah, I get it.
I think fear of like putting yourself out there and stuff is like a lot of people. Like, I remember the first salon job I had, I don't think I spoke for like a couple months. I was like, whatever I'm told I'm going to do. You know, it
Mhm.
took me a while to
Yeah.
get out of my shell. So that's normal.
And I think when you go from, like, because, like, at school, like, when I was at school, like, I was super busy. Like, I had people come in all the time. But it was, obviously, it's school, so it's different. So, like, I had people coming in all the time. Like, I had a ton of friends there. So, I feel like when you go from that to, like, somewhere that's so small and, like, you guys are so busy and, like, that's, like, your place, I feel like it's hard to, like, you know what I mean? Like, come out of your shell and be super confident at first, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's getting easier the more that
Yeah.
you
But
do it.
you,
You just have to be yourself and, like, not worry about, like, if people don't like who you are and, like, you know, you just
Yeah.
gotta be yourself and go with the flow.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely getting a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, it will be. The more you do it, it gets easier. But I mean, there's always struggles along the way with social media and posting, because you feel like sometimes, like, even I hit those walls where I'm like, I feel like I'm posting, I'm tagging, I'm using all the hashtags that I can. I feel like my page is as clean as it could get, and you know, sometimes you just wonder, like, why can't you hit that, like,
Right.
bigger numbers?
Why am I not growing?
But recently I was like in a meeting, and we were talking about, like, it's not about your numbers, it's about, like, how much interaction do you get with one photo. And, like, you can see, like, how many likes per photo that gets. Like, somebody can have, like, 2,000 followers, but that picture gets, like, 100, 200, or 500 likes. You know, sometimes if you do the math on how many followers, the numbers that person has versus the likes that they have, it doesn't really match up.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us get caught up in that. But I think as long as you're trying with your social media,
Yeah.
and that's all you can hope for. As long
Right.
as we're busy, we're busy.
Right. Yeah, and I've noticed too, because, like, before I obviously wasn't using my page as much. Like, I wouldn't really, like, I followed people obviously, but I wouldn't go on it and, like, check on it daily and, like people's pictures and stuff. But I feel like the more that I check up on it and the more that I'm using it versus, like, my personal page, and I like people's pictures, like, the more I get back, like, followers and likes and stuff like that, which obviously makes sense. But the more that you use it, I feel like the more that people are going to interact with your page too.
Right.
It's true.
So
It's so much work being a hairdresser, because
Yeah.
it's like we have to, which we've talked about this on the other podcast, so I don't want to be redundant, but it is just a lot of work getting, like, your energy across on a screen and on a page, you know?
Absolutely.
It is.
And that's, like, a perfect way to put it. Like, how to get your energy across over social media is, like, so hard. Like, you have to almost put it, like, a facade on to, like, kind of draw people in, but at the same time be yourself. And, like, because then if you have a whole page full of stuff that's not you, someone's going to come in and be like, this chick is not who she says she is on, like, Instagram. You know, it's hard to get across, like,
especially once they get to know you.
Yeah. It's hard to get across who you're trying to become and, like, what you are striving for and stuff like that. It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah. So how about you, Sam? What would you say has been, like, the most challenging as far as, like, posting and getting your energy across?
Yeah, so I would just say, like, putting my energy into it and, like, doing it outside of work and, like, to do it during the day is probably the hardest thing for me, like, having to, like, do it 24/7, you know? That's probably been my most difficult thing, is just, like, having to do it 24/7, like, waking up and posting, like, eating lunch and posting, going to bed and posting. Like, it's you always got to do it. You always got to be there. You always got to be on your game.
I know. Have you ever thought
that's
of getting,
probably-
like, the app that posts for you?
No.
No?
No, you told me about it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've downloaded it, but it's like, I think it's $40 a month,
Oh my god.
right?
jeez.
That's
Yeah.
like hiring another assistant or something. Like, what?
Yeah, I think it's
For
like,
your like photos.
yeah, I think it's like $40 a month or $30 a month, something like that. And you can, like say one night you just sat there and you had, like, you know, for, like, the whole week you had, like,
Lined
like,
up what you wanted
yeah,
to post.
like
yeah.
morning, noon, and night, and then you don't have to worry about it. Like,
Right.
yeah, it costs money, but it buys you your freedom.
Buys you your freedom. $40 a month. You don't even gotta go on Instagram at all. You just gotta tap your pictures into this little app and
Yeah, but I mean, that's how, like, a lot of people, like, do you ever, like, wake up and, like, somebody posted a hair picture at, like, 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
And you know they're in your area, and you're
Right.
like, what were you doing up? But you're like, oh, yeah. No, they had the app,
Right.
and it just does it for them.
It's Probably what like famous people do.
Kim K.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, right. She probably has like a whole team that just posts for her.
Well, they do. They take her pictures
Definitely.
for her.
Yeah,
Or
they take her
selfies.
selfies for her. That
Yeah.
episode when she was getting carpal tunnel from freaking taking too many selfies, and she had like
What?
yeah, she got carpal tunnel from taking too many selfies. So she had like one of the people that films the Kardashians like stand at a certain length and like hold her arm up like this, so it looked like she was the one taking the picture.
Oh my god.
But it was
That must be
ridiculous.
nice.
Yeah, it must be nice. So basically, we have no life because we're always on our Instagram all the time. We're always in the salon. No, we have a life.
We're always posting pictures.
Yeah. I think it's about loving what you do, honestly. Like getting on your social media and like putting out to everyone that you love what you do and you love being at the salon. And I think that's what's most important to show your clients is like, come on in, because we're so passionate about this, and like we're so passionate about like the team that we work in and stuff, that it comes off like positive, and like setting a positive energy is
Right.
key.
What do you think is like the most rewarding? Like, what is the most rewarding thing to you about all your hard work on your Instagram?
Filling my book, like having a
Yeah.
full book, never being slow. Like, I mean, I love my clients, and that's always rewarding, is to make someone happy, make someone's day, and like they leave your chair feeling beautiful, and they love what you do. But it's definitely super rewarding to get that check at the end of the month, and it just keeps going up as you keep huffing along, you know. I think that's the most
Yeah.
rewarding.
I think what's rewarding
Not to sound
too.
like selfish or anything, but
No.
that doesn't sound selfish.
No,
right?
that doesn't sound selfish.
We all are trying to make more money.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. I think
That's what it's all about.
I think like what's most rewarding is like when somebody that you've never met before found your page and they come in, and then you're like, oh, how did you hear about us? Like, what brings you in? And they tell you, and you're like,
Yeah.
you picked me?
Definitely.
Like, and it's like all of my work has paid off, and
Yeah.
it resonated with you, and that's why you're here.
Definitely.
So
And you'll feel that too, Corey, when you get like your first like new person that you've never met before that comes in and sits in your chair, and you're like, okay, so like how'd you come across us, or how'd you find us? And they're like, oh my god, your Instagram, I just love your Instagram, like I just saw you and I followed you, and it's just amazing. And you're just like,
yeah, warm and fuzzy.
yeah. Yep.
So
We'll get there.
We're knocking down those walls, but we'll get there.
Yep.
yes. All right, guys. Well, I think that's enough for energy today. So hopefully you could take something away from this podcast. But I think that if you are a new stylist starting out, Corey is a good example of a newbie, and she's doing great. You guys, don't be scared. Put yourself out there. Show your audience who you are. And for any stylists out there who currently have a full book, or maybe have lost the drive to post or whatever, just remember, like, you know, not necessarily are your clients going to always live here. You know, unfortunately, maybe some might pass away, or, you know, life happens or whatever. Don't put Instagram or Facebook or any social media on the back burner because you have a full book. Constantly post. You know,
Absolutely, yeah.
put yourself out there. You know, you want to make sure that you're always like
Yeah. And
out there.
You want to brag about your work. You want to put your work out there,
Right.
because
You're awesome.
yeah, exactly. You're awesome.
Yes. All right, guys. So we hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we will see you next week.
Bye.